Although Christianity is rapidly declining in the U.S. at 65%, we are still a majority Christian nation, at least in name only. One of the foundational beliefs of the pro-life worldview is that all humans have intrinsic value, and a substantial amount of Americans believe abortion should be illegal in all or most cases. With that said, there are still many Christians who support abortions in all or most cases. In fact, the same research study showed that 66% of evangelicals are pro-life and 33% support abortions in all or most cases. So what's the point in talking about the abortion debate? The point is, we need to talk about it. It is the church's responsibility to respond to the culture on this issue. When the church is silent, morality declines, society becomes more godless, and the consequences are great. Today, more and more pastors are taking to social media to express their support of women's reproductive rights. Catholics who advocate for abortion want to let women know they stand with them in their decision to have one. Some in the church have found their voice on the topic, but not in the way you would expect. So what's the deal? Should Christians be adamantly pro-life? Or can they sway on the issue, take a neutral position, and quietly bow out of the conversation? While not every pro-life advocate claims to be Christian, I will make the argument that every Christian must be a pro-life advocate. Let me say it this way. If you call yourself a Christian, you must be pro-life. Why? Because the worldview you claim to have by your religious association is the only worldview that values human life and equality. And that means we must evaluate the basis of the pro-life argument by asking ourselves a few questions. First, why is it important to know where we stand on the issue of abortion? One reason is because of intellectual honesty. God requires that we love Him with all of our minds. If Christians parrot the talking points of culture, or even the cliche sayings of church culture, we are not engaging the culture in the debate over the unborn's right to life. It actually shows we do not understand the issue at the heart of the abortion debate, which is, who counts as one of us? In other words, what makes humans valuable, and who gets to decide? Many Christians will often take a neutral or passive stance on the issue of abortion for fear of offense. And while I understand not wanting to offend others for fear of rejection and loss, there is no neutral position when it comes to life in the womb. Why is that? Because of what abortion is. So let's explore the question, what is abortion? The answer to this question is what the entire abortion debate is tethered to. Abortion intentionally kills an innocent human being. I am going to show you a video about the reality of abortion that graphically demonstrates what abortion is. This video is traumatic because it doesn't use words to sugarcoat the intentional killing of an innocent human being. It shows what goes on during an actual abortion. If you're like me and you want to shield yourself from the emotions of this graphic video, I do understand. However, I have learned that in some way, shielding myself from the reality of abortion was actually selfish. I was protecting myself instead of allowing myself to see firsthand what abortion is and what abortion does to the unborn. So for that reason, I encourage you not to look away. As painful as it is, watch it at least once. The pro-life argument is simple. It is wrong to intentionally kill an innocent human being. Abortion intentionally kills an innocent human being. Therefore, abortion is wrong. Now, scientists don't disagree that life in the womb is the developing embryo of a human being. That's not the debate. However, pro-life advocates go further by supporting the fact that each human being is distinct and whole. Therefore, there is no difference between the you are today and the you once were in your mother's womb. Pro-life advocates make clear that abortion is the intentional killing of an innocent human being. But we aren't the only ones. Abortion advocates don't deny abortion kills a human. They admit that abortion takes the life of not a potential being, but a living human being. One chilling confession comes from feminist Camille Paglia in Fresh Blood for the Vampire, and she says, "Here have I always frankly admitted that abortion is murder, the extermination of the powerless by the powerful. Liberals, for the most part, have shrunk from facing the ethical consequences of their embrace of abortion, which results in the annihilation of concrete individuals and not just clumps of insensate tissue." The abortion debate is about one thing and one thing only. Who counts as one of us? Are the unborn human beings? Embryology confirms they are. Yet some will tell you abortion is anything but the intentional killing of human beings. Some will call abortion a surgical procedure. No, abortion is the intentional killing of an innocent human being. Some pro-lifers with good intentions will tell you abortion is wrong because who knows who's being killed? Is it a future doctor who can find the cure to cancer? The future president of the United States? Or maybe it's the next Billy Graham? But that's irrelevant to the abortion debate. Remember, abortion is the intentional killing of an innocent human being, regardless of what that human being grows up to become. Abortion is not about the psychology of abortion and who regrets having one and who doesn't. There are many women who don't regret their abortions. Regardless of the emotions they may feel, regret or not, at the heart of the abortion debate is it is wrong to intentionally kill an innocent human being, and that's what abortion does. Is abortion a mere surgical procedure? If it were, why wouldn't there be controversy over getting a tooth pulled or having knee replacement surgery? Because again, at the heart of the abortion debate is who counts as one of us. And since the abortion procedure intentionally kills an innocent human being, the controversy will continue because the question of who counts as one of us remains unanswered. There are other descriptions people give for the abortion debate, like women's reproductive rights, my body, my choice, but they are all irrelevant. They distract from the real argument. Abortion intentionally kills an innocent human being, and how do we determine who counts as one of us? Now that we've established abortion kills humans in the womb, it leads to my next question. What makes humans valuable? Christianity is the only worldview in which humanity has intrinsic value. It is the only worldview where the emphasis on human equality and loving your neighbor is placed. We'll talk about that more in a bit. Since science confirms what a human is, we can confidently say abortions take human life in the womb. Not potential life, as some may articulate. But be careful how much power you give to science. Science can tell us the unborn are human, but science cannot tell us how to treat them. Science alone does not have the ability to place value on anything, so science cannot answer the question about what makes humans valuable. You and I must do that, but what rubric do we use? What's our benchmark to help us determine human value? We must ask ourselves, does every human being have a right to life? Or do some have to qualify for that right based upon some characteristic or trait they may display in or throughout their lifetime? Again, the pro-life worldview states that all human life is valuable from conception and all throughout development. Meaning again that the you are today is no more valuable than the you were in the womb. To put this into perspective, remember the acronym SLED. Stephen Schwartz provided this acronym to emphasize non-essential differences between humans and to show these differences have no bearing on what makes them valuable. First, the S in SLED is for size. Does body size determine value? Do humans that are bigger have more value than humans that are smaller? Again, this matters since the question at hand is who counts as one of us? The L in SLED stands for level of development. Is it okay to kill those who are less developed than others? For example, can we kill toddlers because they're less developed than teenagers? Of course not. So why is it permissible to kill the unborn? The E in SLED stands for environment. As Schwartz says, does where you are determine what you are? A journey of 8 inches down the birth canal cannot possibly change the nature or value of the unborn from being someone you can kill to someone you can't kill. And finally, the D in SLED stands for degree of dependency. Does dependence on another human being mean we can kill you? In my grandma's old age, she is dependent upon my parents. Does that make it permissible to kill grandma? Based upon this logic, the answer is yes, and that goes for any infant, toddler, and small child or any person with disabilities that is dependent upon another human being. Humans are valuable simply because they are human. If we place any other stipulation on the value of human beings, we are entering dangerous territory because the rules can change at any time, making all humans susceptible to this dangerous ideology. Finally, why do so many people come to different sides of the aisle on the abortion debate? Because worldview matters. What do I mean by that? As I mentioned, according to a Focus on the Family article, 65% of Americans claim to be Christian. Yet startlingly, only 6% of self-proclaimed Christians have a biblical worldview. Why is this significant to the abortion debate? Because a biblical worldview is in line with the pro-life worldview. More specifically, the pro-life view stems from foundational beliefs to the Christian religion, such as human value and equality. In fact, Christianity is the only religion that places inherent value on human life. First, the Bible tells us all human beings are created in the image of God. That means you can be no more or no less valuable than you are right now or at any time in your life, including when you were in your mother's womb. Second, the Bible conveys the message that every human is equal in value for the sheer fact that we were all created by God and in His image. Regardless of whether or not you believe in God, what your political beliefs are, your social beliefs, the color of your skin, your gender, none of that matters when it comes to being equal in value, and a biblical worldview supports this. What other religion places such a standard on human value? There isn't one. Thirdly, and most importantly, within a biblical worldview is the idea that God determines right and wrong. You may do good without God, but you cannot know good without God. Therefore, outside of a Christian worldview, you get moral relativism, where the individual determines who counts as valuable and why. Apart from God, there is no value, no equality, and no worth. So why should every Christian be pro-life? To say you're a Christian and not be pro-life means you claim Christianity without the worldview. It means that you don't believe human life is valuable and that morals are absolute and knowable. And if you do believe those things, you are compromising the foundational truths of a Christian worldview to appease culture. That may seem dramatic and harsh, but that is the only conclusion to come to, since again, Christianity and the pro-life worldview are synonymous. I want to say again that not every pro-lifer is a Christian, but every Christian ought to be pro-life. If not, your worldview is not in line with the religion you claim. So where do we go from here? It's time to get in the debate. There is no neutral ground when it comes to the intentional killing of an innocent human being. If you are a Christian, it is time to engage the culture by entering into these debates. In June of 2022, we may see Roe v. Wade overturned. Millions of babies have been killed since the passing of Roe v. Wade, which was before my time. But this is my time. This is your time. And it is time for us to make a difference and tell others why they ought to be pro-life.